Okay, awesome. Well, I'm so excited to speak with both of you guys today. We've only been working together for about 4 months now, if you can believe that, which is kind of crazy. So tell us a little bit about your practice and what you guys do.
Well, we're a small community practice. We've been in the community for decades. I bought the practice from the previous owners who had had it for, over 30 years, I think. And, was hoping to continue that kind of community-based culture. We've always been a 3 to 4 doctor practice. But with the, trying to find vets being so hard, we have been closer to a 2 to 3 doctor practice. But we'd like to continue kind of like our values of, a positive culture. Debra and I have worked hard with that. And also continuing to advance with the profession and the medicine that we're offering, with how that medicine changes over time and how it improves.
So you mentioned being a 3 to 4 doctor practice, and then with everything that's been happening, you've been more 2 to 3. So what was your main concern about partnering with Beyond Just You in the search?
I don't think there was, I mean, the big thing for us is financially, was it worth the investment? We've always had a doctor ad out for years, and we've always been able to maintain just barely 2.5 to 3 doctors, but we never had much of a candidate pool. And as a privately owned small practice, we don't have the resources or the expertise to reach out. So many other practices either are corporately owned or have a shadow partner that help them with recruiting, and we're really at a disadvantage. We don't have that. So yeah, and it's not working. We actually interviewed a couple different recruiting places, and we liked you guys.
Well, I've loved working with you. So where were you in the recruiting process prior to starting with us? Had you just kind of maintained that ad being out and available, or what were you guys doing?
Yeah, we maintained the ad. I mean, we would update it probably annually, like every 12 to 18 months. I'm a member of CVMA, so we would do email blast. We always had it posted on any of the West Coast vet schools. We would pay for ads, sometimes like $1,000 every 3 months. And and just we would get things now and then. And it just kind of, it happened to keep shoring up our vets. And then we had one vet that really wanted to change her career path. And we knew that already it's hard to find vets that we need to do something that was more proactive, because what we were doing wasn't working and it was becoming more and more critical. Like, we couldn't wait.
So what did you find as a result of working with us at Beyond Just You then?
Well, I think just having someone out there working to find candidates. We just don't have the resources or the expertise or the time. Yeah, I mean, especially when you're down vets, and I'm a clinical vet, even though I'm the owner. And Debra's as the practice manager, she has so much to do. You need someone who's going to be recruiting for you. So we don't live in a community or next to a vet school where there's candidates all over the place. We're in a pretty it's not a super populated community where vets are coming in left and right.
And we found somebody, right? And
Yes.
we were able to fill the position pretty quick
Yeah.
for the location and all things considered, which is exciting. And she's
Yes.
already started full
She
time,
did.
which is great, right?
Yeah.
So what would you say? You mentioned you interviewed a few recruiting firms kind of in your process of deciding we need some extra hands, we need somebody to support us. What would you say is your favorite feature of our partnership? What did you like the most?
Well, I thought you guys were really thorough as far as, like, you were very upfront of, okay, we're not just looking for any candidate. We were looking for this type of candidate specifically, which is really important because of our culture and because of our medicine. The other thing is that you guys guaranteed that, I mean, you couldn't tell us what time, but that, like, hey, we're going to it costs this much, but we are going to find a candidate. We'll keep looking until we find one. So we have talked to other places that weren't as thorough and kind of vetting their candidates, how they talked about that, or they're, still we're continuing to pay, a lot, and they say there's no guarantee, you can stop and you've already, so.
I would say that it also, you guys took the time to really get to know us as a practice, and really understand what's important to us moving forward with anyone who joins our team. And that was important for you. You really wanted to know that, and you continually checked in with us over the process, even if it was just an email. But we talked a lot, and we checked in a lot about what you were finding and how we were feeling about everything. And I think that was really important, because it is such a critical, it's a big investment for us. And I feel like the process was really customized to our practice to really find the right person. So I appreciated that about the process.
You guys were really professional, really positive, and it was obvious that you had a system in place, and that when you did check in, that makes a difference too,
I think also about the process, it was really nice to have an outside third party involved with the candidate, so you could get an outside perspective from not just us, but from them. And that helped us check our reality.
Just need to grab silence real quick.
Okay, sorry, I can't. But it helped.
Okay.
For Dr. Marty and I, a lot of times we're talking and we feel very strongly about the same thing. And so we're like, okay, are we too much in a bubble here? And so it was nice to have someone outside the bubble, so we could just check how we were feeling and if it was a good situation or not.
Yeah, to have someone to bounce that off of, that makes a difference.
That's the part of our partnership that we love the most, is being able, it's really a partnership in our opinion, to make sure that we're getting the right fit, not just any person, right? And then that we're also feeling like we're supporting the candidate in the right ways too throughout the journey, so that we can get to the end result that makes the most sense for everybody. So I love that. So would you say, has Beyond Just You exceeded your expectations in any way?
I think so.
Yeah, you guys found us a candidate really fast.
I didn't think this process would be that quick. And I know part of that's just, I think that also speaks to like the situations where people like Dr. who are making a major change in their life and their move, and they don't, like, for them to invest the time to find a new practice. I think this process helps us be able to find them, where I don't think without her like going through all the websites and reading all the average job ads, I think it's, as much as it's beneficial to her, it's beneficial to us to find those type of candidates, the ones that have the 20 years experience, have been in a practice, a committed practice, and their life is changing for outside circumstances. I think this type of situation really helps you find that type of candidate versus like going after a school or and just somebody randomly replying. So I think that was a big, that surprised me, I guess, that expectation of like, oh, okay, there's a whole different pool that you're reaching that we can't.
And then would you say that you would recommend BJU to any other business owner? And if so, why?
I have been on Facebook.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
Anytime somebody brings it up, I share my experience, like honestly, online with the manager groups, and just be like, this is where I'm at. This is what I feel comfortable with. And this has been my experience and success with it. Because those groups, especially like on social media, we're there to support each other. So the honest reality of what we're all dealing with. And so I have been like, singing your success and saying, hey, this has been worth it for our practice.
Well, thank you so much. That's awesome. Social media, I mean, there are really wonderful forums out there that give you the opportunity to share best practices, to share what's working, what's not working. Sometimes just know that you're not alone because the search for a doctor is so competitive right now. So I really appreciate hearing that you guys have already been sharing your
It's
story.
been
Thank
really
you.
great. Yeah. Yeah.
Is there anything else you would like to add about your time partnering with us?
I mean, I guess just overall, I'm really, really glad that we did partner with you because I just don't think you need we don't have those expertise and we don't have those, the time, like Deborah said. So,
Yeah, I mean, I would say, Dr. Marty was much more ready to like go the way of recruiting than I was. I was just like, oh my gosh, this is a substantial amount of money. And, it took me a good month to come around and think about it and process it. But it's like, it is an investment. And if you find someone that investment on the return, like your return on your investment is far exceeds what we're doing. It, really brings in an income for the hospital. Um, and
I think
and access to places that we just don't have. So um is it makes me not hesitate in this situation, but also just knowing the people that we talk to in with your company and feeling supported and feeling aligned in our values and our culture and you understanding our practice, it takes the hesitation away in this type of process.
yeah, we never felt like you were trying to sell a candidate to us. You were presenting and working as like, is this the right person? What do you guys think? It was very much of a team oriented approach.
Yeah.
And, I think as the owner and as an owner of a small private practice, like the financial part was a big part of the decision, as Deborah's doing the accounts too, that I think it does become a no-brainer because either you have a vet who's bringing in income,
Right.
benefits for when you're in a position that, the benefits far exceed,
The actual
the
risk.
investment.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you just go without a vet and you don't have any income. So we were at that point where we're like, oh, it's getting dangerous. We need to invest. We weren't just, like, oh, it'd be nice to have another vet.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad I won you over, Debra. Like our team, we got you coming around. I always told Trey it's so fun working with you guys. And I think it was that value alignment, just truly feeling like we were a team. We were in it together to make sure we found the right person. It was fun on our side too. So I'm glad to hear that we won you over. That's good.
Totally.
Well, thank you guys so much for sharing your story. Both, you've already been kind of sharing about BJU out in forums, so I really appreciate that, but also taking a few minutes out of your day to chat with me today. I really appreciate it.
Happy to do so.
Yeah. Thank you for everything you did.